Hi everyone, Alexa here from the blog, theduvallhomestead.com. Today I'm going to invite you back into my kitchen for the weekend. This time I'm going to be making a few spontaneous meals that I didn't have planned, that I kind of made up on the spot, but they turned out really great. So let's dive right in. I try to create recipes for the blog, and I usually do that by getting inspired by seeing some recipes online. I'll start with a basic recipe and just twist it to match what ingredients I have on hand or something seasonal, and this weekend was no exception. So today I'm gonna be trying to use pumpkin as much as I can. I'm gonna start off with some sourdough because that's what I have on my counter. I'm gonna be making sourdough bread. I won't show you that part because I've shown it so many times on this channel already. You probably don't need to see it again. I'm gonna show you my sourdough einkorn English muffins because we need a breakfast plan for tomorrow, and this is my favorite thing to make the night before and then prepare it in the morning. And then I need to come up with a dessert recipe because we're having my family over for dinner tonight and I wanna prepare a dessert for them. So let's see what I can come up with in this amount of time I have with you. Got two bowls here. One is for my bread and the other one is for English muffins. I think I said this in my last video, but whenever I take my sourdough starter out, I just make a few recipes with it because I'm already using the starter, I'm already using the cups. It just makes it a lot easier to do multiple at one time. Bread recipe is 3/4 cup sourdough starter, 1.5 cup filtered water, 1.5 teaspoons salt, and then about 4 cups of all-purpose flour. And then the einkorn English muffin recipe is 3/4 cup starter, 3/4 cup water, 1.5 teaspoons salt, 2 tablespoons honey, and 3 cups of einkorn flour. Both of these recipes are on the blog, duvallhomestead.com. I will link them below. Great recipes for getting started with sourdough, or if you're already an expert, don't miss out on these. Definitely not measuring as precise as I should be, but I never do. My family loves einkorn flour, especially the English muffins. My daughter asks for them constantly. My husband asks for them as well. You know, when the husband's asking for it, you know that you gotta make that more often. Smells like breakfast tomorrow morning. Okay, so the English muffin flour I'm going to leave on my counter covered in plastic. Make sure you cover it in plastic, not a towel, because the towel will let air in and it will get crusty on top. And I won't even need to touch this until tomorrow morning. That's why I love it, so easy. You just mix it together, leave it, touch it tomorrow morning. Okay, for the dessert, I decided on making an einkorn brownie recipe. I'm gonna experiment a little bit and add some pumpkin and some pumpkin spice. I'm gonna add chocolate chips. This is gonna be a very decadent and delicious homemade from scratch brownie recipe. It's very easy too. I have the recipe on my blog and I will be adding some pumpkin as well. This is my reindeer egg holder left over from Christmas time. I meant all year to get a new egg holder and I never did, and it's just so cute, but I do want one for the rest of the year because this is for Christmas only. Okay, I'm gonna add the eggs and egg yolk into a bowl. And to that, you're gonna add 1 stick of butter, melted and cooled slightly, teaspoon vanilla, teaspoon salt, 1/4 cup maple syrup, or you could use honey, 2 tablespoons coconut oil, tablespoon water, and combine those with a fork. Just be careful that this isn't too hot because you don't want to cook your eggs. In another bowl, you're gonna combine 1 cup white sugar, 1/4 cup brown sugar, 3/4 cup cocoa powder, and 1 cup einkorn flour. Okay, we're gonna experiment now by adding some pumpkin. I always have a lot of pumpkin at the beginning of the season and then I just stick it in the freezer because I never can cook all of it at one time. Okay, that was probably 1/4 cup of pumpkin. I don't want to add too much. We'll see what happens. And to compensate for the extra moisture, I'm going to add a little bit more einkorn flour. Always experimenting in the kitchen with me today. 2 spoonfuls, heaping spoonfuls, just so that we don't have a situation where it is too wet. Mixing up the dry ingredients, and then I'm just gonna add those slowly to the wet ingredients. Oh, and I'm also gonna add a cup of chocolate chips, because why not? Okay. Oh, I forgot one thing. I wanted to add some pumpkin spice to this. So I'm gonna cut right to the chase and go with the pumpkin pie spice, which is evidently empty. Oh, almost empty. Okay, just gonna add that to a baking dish and bake it at 325 for 50 minutes or until a knife inserted in the middle comes out mostly clean. You wanna let these sit for at least 30 minutes before cutting into them. They do form up pretty well. And oh my gosh, these are so good. They're chewy, decadent, and the pumpkin is a really nice touch. It's just a cold, cool, kind of drizzly fall day today, and I'm just feeling like a comfort food, like a brownie with chocolate, and maybe some pumpkin would be perfect for our family dinner tonight. We have 2 family dinners every weekend, one at our house and one at my parents' house. And so this is gonna be at our house. I told you I wouldn't show you the sourdough bread, but here I am filming it. And I cannot wait to just enjoy this cozy flavor. We haven't made brownies in a while because it's been summertime. Okay, it's the next day now and I'm going to get the English muffins going for breakfast. I always like to wake up before my family and get these started so they're nice and ready and you can smell them from upstairs. They are delicious. I add a teaspoon of baking soda at the very end, right before rolling out the dough. And then I just form the dough into 6 equal parts, preheat a Dutch oven on medium-high heat, add coconut oil, and then put the English muffins in the Dutch oven and cover them. I cook on medium heat for about 5 or 6 minutes, then I flip them and then cook another 5 or 6 minutes on a low heat. You kind of have to just keep an eye out to see how brown they're getting so they don't get burnt. This is a family favorite, as you can see, and this is just our Sunday morning. On the weekends, I really change up my cooking schedule. I don't really have a cooking schedule. I just cook based on the needs of what's happening on the weekend because the weekends I prioritize family fun stuff, which is sometimes the same each weekend. Other times it's totally different depending on what's going on. So I have to just adjust to that, which is what I thought I'd talk about in this video. We're doing fun stuff and I want to be flexible, but that can be actually kind of challenging because I thrive with routine, especially when it comes to cooking, because food has to get on the table at a certain time because people are hungry. So there's kind of a need to get the food done, which is why I like routine, so I can make sure I can get it on the table at the right time. So on the weekend, it can be different because we're out and about doing things. You have to strategize how to make sure everyone gets fed. Today is Sunday. We just got back from the pumpkin patch again. We've been going to pumpkin patches every single weekend, which I'm not complaining about. It's so fun. But the thing about the pumpkin patches is they don't always have the best food. We did get some pulled pork sandwiches and some corn, which is fine for the adults, but the kids don't always eat a lot of it. And my daughter, she will be so wrapped up in what's happening and having so much fun that she really doesn't care about the food until she gets home, and then she's really hungry. And what happened today is she got home, tried to go down for a nap, didn't nap, probably because she wants more food. So I am using this quick, quiet time that she's having in her room right now to make her some food. I'm gonna be making a pumpkin flaxseed muffin with einkorn flour. This is gonna be a healthy snack. It's gonna have a lot of pumpkin in it, and I wanna be able to give this to her when she wakes up before dinner because I don't have dinner yet. We're actually gonna go to my parents' house for dinner, so I don't have food that I'm really prepping tonight, but I have to give her something. So these will be the kind of thing we can also freeze the leftovers and take them out whenever we need a nice healthy snack. So I'm actually going to prep the ingredients right now, get it all ready, and I'm probably gonna bring her down at some point and she'll help cook these with me because I don't wanna keep her waiting. My daughter is supposed to be napping right now, but she is not sleeping, so I'm gonna go get her and then let her come down and cook with me. So in my mixing bowl, I'm gonna combine a cup of pumpkin puree, half a cup white sugar, half a cup maple syrup, 3/4 cup yogurt, 1/4 cup milk, 1/4 cup coconut oil, 2 eggs, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. In another bowl, I'll combine 1 3/4 cup einkorn flour, a 1/4 cup ground flaxseed, a teaspoon of baking soda, and some salt. Oh, and I'm also gonna add pumpkin spice to this, of course, to make the pumpkin really pop. That for you to do the rest of. Okay, next one. Yeah. 2, yeah. 1 cup of pumpkin puree. Okay. So good. Very, very good. Okay, actually we're gonna put it in this bowl. Just grab the handle and pour it in. Yeah. Perfect. Go tap, tap, tap. eyeballing this. This is a new recipe for me and I just made it up on the spot based on some other muffin recipes that I already have. I kind of take a muffin recipe or a cake recipe or a cookie recipe, the bones of the recipe, and then I just twist it with whatever I would like to. So for example, pumpkin or something like that. You can also add a cup of chocolate chips here, which I think I will do if I can find chocolate chips in my cupboard. We've been using them so much lately that I don't know if we have any left. First, I'll combine the wet ingredients and sugar, and then I'll add the dry ingredients and slowly combine that. I'll bake these at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes. I'll check them. Like I said, it's my first time using the pumpkin puree in this recipe, so we'll see how that works out. If it's too watery or too wet, I can just add more einkorn flour. So midway through cooking this, I realized I had no ground flaxseed, and that was my plan. So I'm gonna use collagen peptides instead. This is a really nice collagen powder that adds some protein. So kind of similar to ground flax, different, nutritional content, but I think it's gonna be really good. Okay, moment of truth. Let's take a little look here. These look beautiful. I love the orange color. Let them cool for a little bit and we're gonna dive in. When these came out of the oven, not only were they beautiful and orange and smelled delicious, but they tasted even better than they look and even better than I expected. We could not stop eating these. I had some right before filming this voiceover. They are just so good. They are so good, in fact, that I actually photographed them and got the recipe ready for the blog. So I cannot wait to share this on the blog. It is definitely one of our new favorite recipes. Okay, technically this recipe was made on Monday, but I thought I would pop it into this video because it is a beef stew perfect for fall and the colder nights. I'm gonna start by chopping up onion, potatoes, and carrots. I have a few beef chunks I had in the freezer. This is one of those days, it's the day before I go grocery shopping, so I was totally out of food. So I had to reach in the freezer and whatever was in there was what we were gonna have for lunch that day. And actually this was supposed to be a lunch plan, but because it wasn't ready in time, it ended up being dinner. We've got our meat here that we covered with flour and salt and garlic powder.
Ouch!
Peas, great. Peas frozen. They're frozen. Okay. This is carrots. I add bone broth, potatoes, carrots, peas, and tomatoes that I had frozen in the freezer from the summertime. I add rosemary, a little bit of salt. Let that just simmer all day long. And that is why I didn't end up serving it for lunch, because it wasn't gonna be tender enough. I really like our meat super tender, so I just let this simmer on low all day, and then it was absolutely delicious for dinner that night. You can serve this with rice or pasta. I was doing a rice for our lunch anyway. Because I didn't end up serving this meal, I decided to make a cauliflower for the family. So you're seeing me prepare several different things here, but that's pretty common, is I'll just prepare a lot of food as I'm going throughout the day as I have the time. And then I know at some point it'll get eaten, so. Alright, well, thanks for joining me in my kitchen this weekend as I prepared spontaneous meals for my family that were fall inspired. I hope this gave you some inspiration to try some new recipes. If you're brand new to my page, please hit that subscribe button. Every week I post a new video on farm to table recipes and homemade natural living. Thank you so much for stopping by the Duvall Homestead.